there, Heavies. Hev coming back at you again today. We are going to go on a little bit of a heavy rant. That's right, I'm a little bit... Where do I put it? I'm a little bit pissed, in a way. So today we're going to have a heavy rant. And obviously, it's got to do with gaming. So sit tight. We'll get this done. Okay, so first of all, I'm a huge gamer. I've loved gaming since I was a kid. You know, I started with an Atari 2600, moved up to a Sega Master System 2. We had a Super Nintendo and a Nintendo 64 briefly, but then my passion really came into its own when I got a PlayStation 1. And from there, boom, it just exploded. I love gaming. I always have loved gaming. But I'm noticing trends that we've all noticed. I'm not the only one who's noticed it in the last few years or whatnot, that as a gamer, it's really disappointing me to the point where I'm getting a little bit ticked off and angry about it. So I wanted to have a bit of a rant about it, get those feelings out and whatnot. So I'm going to start with, in this climate, financial climate, for a while now, we're paying top dollar for games. You know, like a brand new PS5 or Xbox Series X/S game is over here in Australia, in Australian dollars, around about the $100 to $110 mark, just for the basic game. You know, and that's not including special editions, deluxe editions, gold editions, season pass editions, game of the year editions and whatnot. At the moment, I think Star Wars Outlaws, which is going to be released a little bit later in the year, for its deluxe or top of the line, is $169.95 Australian, which is a huge price for a game. And I get it, people are paid on how well those games do and whatnot, and I get it. You're paying for skills, you're paying for experience and everything. That's not my beef. I'm all about people in the gaming industry getting what they deserve. They work hard, they should get paid appropriately. What I'm getting sick of seeing is games that are released that are buggy as hell or not properly finished, and we're paying top dollar for the game, but we have to wait weeks or months for it to be patched up and just so it's working at base level. You know, we all know the fiasco of Cyberpunk 2077. We all saw that. We all, lived through that. I got that for Christmas that year, and it was buggy as hell. And to the point where on PlayStation 4 they just nixed it because it wasn't getting fixed and it wasn't able to get done quickly. Now, I give CD Projekt Red a lot of credit. They worked their butts off to get that game up to a level that us gamers deserved as a paying public. The same as Fallout 76. Upon release, it's not my type of game, but upon release, I got it in a bundle with my Xbox, and I went in, there was no one in there. The game was reported to be buggy as hell, unplayable, no one was in there, whatnot. Look at Fallout 76 now, especially after the success of the Fallout TV show. It is doing really well. Like, more expansions, more people playing, just opening up the game experience tenfold. Now, not only does it bug me when we get a game, and yes, pun intended, a game that's buggy as hell and to a degree kind of unplayable, but what annoys me the most is that we grind through those days and then expected to fork out more money on top. Like, I understand DLCs and I understand they cost money to make. You know, back in the day, and I'm showing my age there, turned 45 last week, right? Back in the day, you got a game released and it was the game. Then they brought out the Game of the Year editions. You paid maybe a little bit extra. You got that and all the DLC extras. I get it. But considering the fiasco that CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk 2077 was, for them to charge 50 to 60 bucks Australian for Phantom Liberty is an utter joke. We, as the fans of that game, of that world, of that company, forked out brand top dollar for brand new version of that game, and it was busted from the start. And for them to say, hey, here's a DLC, it opens up the map, it gives you more of this and that, great. But to charge like nearly half price of the original game brand new for it is a joke after everything that we had to go through to get to that point. And now I'm going to shift my attention back to Bethesda. I love Bethesda games. Fallout, Skyrim, and I'm even enjoying Starfield at the moment. But what irks me and ticks me off is Todd Howard's bloody notion and attitude of it just works. Well, I've got some news for you, Todd. It doesn't just work. And a pure example of this at the moment is the next-gen update for Fallout 4. What the hell? Come on, mate. Like, seriously. We've waited years for this. Absolute years. Right? I've got Fallout 4 on an Xbox One X. Right? And I love it. That's the main reason why I bought my Xbox. Because I was a PlayStation fan all the way. Right? But it is so hard for me to actually play that game at the moment without stuffing around with it, trying to fix things up so I can get it to work remotely as well as it did with my mods before the update. Now, I get it. With an update, it's going to throw things like mods out. But me not being able to access the mod menu from the start menu, the game menu, that's a crock. Like, seriously. Like, fair enough, some mods in there may need to be updated to patch in with the new update, but I should still be able to actually access them on my console. So I can get rid of the mods that aren't working and causing me issues. But I can't even do that. I have to get on my phone. But for some reason over here in Australia, whenever I try to do that for the phone and add or delete mods, just comes up with an error saying that I can't do it. But the biggest thing for me at the moment is that Skyrim got updated twice and that they got 5 gigabytes of mod space on an Xbox. Fallout 4 doesn't even come close. Starfield, I get it, next gen game, has 50 gigabytes of goddamn mod space. I'm never going to fill that up. Yet Fallout still has 2. 2 gigabytes of mod space is a joke. Especially when the game it is for has mods that not only enhance the look and the feel of the game, add armors and weapons and companions and quests. They add settlement building options and whatnot. They expand that game tenfold. But I'm lucky to be able to put this much into it. Come on. Like, the whole attitude of releasing a game that doesn't work and saying it just works, it's bull dust, mate. It doesn't work. We shouldn't be forced into this position where we've got to wait and wait and wait for patches and updates and everything to fix the game. You know, the amount of stuff that mods can do to Fallout 4 is astronomical, yet we don't have the capacity for it. Let's want to go onto PC and spend, days downloading mods, configuring mods, and getting the computer to a spot where it will play it without crashing to desktop. I'm not at that point yet. I will get to that point, but I'm not there yet. And what really bugs me is just the attitude. The attitude of these game developers. I love your work. Without your work, I wouldn't have some of my favorite games in the world. But we, as an audience, should not have to sit back and wait for things to be fixed that should have been done before release with patches and updates. I understand the need for patches and updates. Sometimes some things will come up in a game and it will bug out and needs to be fixed. It's a great way of doing it. But game companies should not be relying on patches and updates to get their game to base level for the amount of money that we're paying. It is not good enough, and I'm getting sick to death of it. Yeah, I'm quite passionate about this. I really am. I love my video games, and some of my most favourite video games are games that have come out in the last 5 years, probably 10 years. But this whole system of get it out by the date, get it out by the date, that's the date, don't care what bloody shape the game is in, it's being released, we'll patch it up later, they'll wait for it. The fact of the matter is we shouldn't have to wait for it. It is pure greed and just immoral. It's disgusting that we, as video game fans, have to wait for a game to get to base level through patches and updates when it should have been like that at the start. Now, I know Jedi Survivor had issues with PC and whatnot when it was released. Fair enough. But I got the PS5 version when it came out and I never had a problem with it. They pushed the date back, pushed it out a bit more. I never had issues with it. It played well on my PS5. I love it. It's one of my top 10 games of all time. And plus, it's Star Wars. I love Star Wars. Yeah, it had its issues, but patches and whatnot fixed it. And I'm not sure how the PC experience ended up being because I'm not a full-on PC gamer yet. I don't have the capacity for it. But if the likes of Bethesda and CD Projekt Red have done the same, people might have been a bit more patient, a bit more understanding and empathetic of when patches would be needed to fix the game. At the end of the day, we engage in this hobby interest, this way of life because we love it. Video games and gaming as a whole is another level to entertainment that is unmatched by film, TV, comic books. It allows you to take control of a character or characters and move them through the story. And it's one of my favourite mediums of entertainment. But I'm becoming very disheartened by the attitude of release it, we'll fix it later, or okay, it's fixed. You enjoyed months to years of crap, but it's fixed. But we've got this update, we've got this DLC that adds a bit to the game. Here, fork out over half price of what the original game was when it was new for it. It's not acceptable. And then you got Bethesda, who are like, okay, modding is a huge part of our games and keep them alive for a long time. Skyrim, Fallout 4, they've been going for like approximately a decade, just about. Mods have been able to do that. Me and one of my best friends, we play Fallout 4 and Skyrim religiously because we can go back in and make the whole experience completely different with mods that we add or delete. But for the updates to completely nerf the experience, it hits you in the feels. It's like, why have I been supporting these people? Yeah, they're going to fix it with patches and updates. Cool, but did they not think realistically and set smart goals for that? Like the fact that I was an optimist, I'm an optimist, and all the way up I'm going, yes, for that 4 next gen update, we're going to get bigger mod space. And I was so happy I can finally have a game where I could just kick my feet out mod wise. I could put in sim settlements with Fusion City Rising and Outcasts and Remnants and other companion mods and weapons and armor and all that, and get the game modded to just. And I would have thought with the overwhelmingly positive reaction and fanfare of the Fallout TV show, we would have got more mod space for Fallout 4. And I know some people are going to agree with me, some people aren't. Some people are going to say, you're a sook, you know? But hey, when I'm forking out easily over $100 for a brand new game, you have the right to be a bit upset, you know? But at the end of the, at the end of the day, we shouldn't have to put up with it as gamers. Gaming is there for us. We find it fun and engaging and entertaining. If I went to a movie and got 3/4 of the way through it and they said, sorry, that's all we've got so far, you want to see the rest of it? Come back in 3 months, pay for another ticket. No, it's not right. It really isn't. And something's got to change. In closing, though, I will say this. I do respect the work that game makers do. I wish I had the talent to do it. I really, really do. The gaming industry has given us this huge interactive medium for us to engage in, and I truly do love it. The one thing I don't like about it and ticks me off the most is the whole, and I'm sounding like a broken record here, release the game on this date, no ifs, no buts, we'll patch it and update it later to baseline. And then we'll talk about releasing DLCs that are like half the cost of a brand new game. That's not fair. Us gamers shouldn't have to go through that at all. Now, I understand this is a bit of a longer video than I was actually going to probably make. I will say this, though. It's good to be back and filming again. And I'm sorry I was gone for such a long time. Now, peeps, remember, we're all human in the end. Yeah, I'm angry and disappointed mostly in these gaming companies, but I respect what they do because I can't do it. I just want these companies to just rethink their strategy and don't be dicks, pretty much. That's at the end of the day. I know you got to make money. If you want my money, make sure that I've got a game that I don't have to patch and update brand new for months on end so I can get the gaming experience that I paid for. And don't gouge us with DLC that's nearly it's over half price of what the original game should have been. you know, and when you do an X-Gen update and everything, yeah, there's going to be kinks and whatnot, but they shouldn't be game breaking. But if they are, fix them quick. You know, that's what you get paid for. All right, Heavvies, that's me for today. Please feel free to leave your comments, thoughts, opinions below and on all our socials, which are down the bottom of the screen here. And just remember, be respectful. We all have differing opinions. We just don't need to treat each other like cannon fodder. All right? So take it easy. Take care of each other and yourselves, and I'll check you later.